The ERV is an emergency response vehicle. It's really the workhorse of our deployments when we get called away. It not only takes food and water and supplies to the events, but it's what we use to distribute it once we get there.
We couldn't do without them. We absolutely cannot do without them. They're used to feed. They're used to transfer goods to places that you can't even reach without, the destination may be on a hillside. There's no way that we could carry the supplies.
One of the things that we found out about our ERVs while we were on the mission to Harvey, because all of those the emergency response vehicles went on from there all the way to Florida and then all the way back to Santa Rosa. So we found out that some of those ERVs were a little bit long in the tooth and quite old. So one of my experience was the ERV that I was driving stopped. They just quit moving. Oh, it's frustrating because you're really there to help, be of service. That's why you've, in many cases, flown thousands of miles and are staying in a staff shelter with 350 of your now closest friends, and more often than not, taking cold showers and things like that. You're very committed to being there to help. So when things go a little bit awry like that and not be able to complete that mission, it gets a little bit frustrating.
I was driving an ERV, and it was the Butte Fire. And we were going from house to house in the ERV trying to give supplies. And while we were doing this, we ran across a father and a son. And I had to coach the little boy to come to us because they refused our help. They're so afraid that we're going to charge them, that they have to pay for our services, which they don't. So I was able to get the young boy over to me and gave him a bottle of ice cold water. So that allowed the father to come near us too. At that time, we filled a tote, and we filled with everything we had that we could give them: tarps, water, shovels, everything in the ERV. And as they were getting ready to leave, the little boy turned around and looked at me and said, "I have nothing to give you back but a hug." Just, stories like that just tug at your heart, that you want to go out. You just can't sit still. You want to be out there.